Hey friends! Thank you once again for tuning in our podcast. Kamusta po ulit kayo? I highly appreciate your positive comments sa podcast po na ito. And I would like to ask my son to read some of the comments. Kuya, can you share it with our listeners?
Sure, Mom. Truly, the gift of salvation humbles us, for none of us can claim credit for it. All honor and glory belongs to Jesus alone. And another one po, I am in awe of your podcast. Simple but meaningful, and also, oh, the love of God, so sweet to hear. Thanks for sharing. Looking forward to the next episodes.
Thank you so much, Kuya! We may not be able to say all the comments here in this episode, but I am reading all of it and I thank you so much for your encouragement and most of all, sa time po na nilalaan nyo para mapakinggan ang podcast na ito. And I will not stop saying this, to God be all the glory. And as we deep dive po kung ano ang meaning ng gospel, ang topic po natin today ay masasabi ko po na mahirap maipaliwanag ng isang katulad ko. Even while preparing this, nahirapan pa din po ako. I was staring at my computer and I didn't know how to start. But it is my sincere prayer that we, as Christians, should know whom we are worshiping and why. One of the very important doctrines is the Doctrine of Trinity. Alam niyo po, when I first heard about the Trinity, hindi ko po talaga maintindihan ang ibig sabihin nito. Paano po sinasabi ng Bible na iisa ang Diyos sa tatlong persona? Pinilit ko pong intindihin talaga kung paano po nangyari yon. And the more I doubt, the more I ask God for His forgiveness. Because I could not understand it. The truth is, there is no way to perfectly and completely understand it. As God is infinitely greater than we are, tayo po bilang tao, limited lang po talaga ang kaya nating malaman. Hindi po natin kayang pilitin na maintindihan ng buong-buo ang Diyos. Kasi nga po infinite siya at tayo po ay finite lang. Sobrang limited lang po ng kaalaman natin. And in this episode, let us try to unfold the beauty of the Triune God and the Gospel. Trinity. The Bible teaches that the Father is God, that Jesus is God, and the Holy Spirit is God. At tinuturo din po ng Bible na iisa lang ang tunay na Diyos. Though we can understand some facts about the relationship of the different persons of the Trinity to one another, but sa kabuuan po, hindi po talaga maiintindihan ito ng ating human mind. Pero, hindi po ibig sabihin na ang Trinity ay hindi totoo or hindi siya based sa teachings of the Bible. Ang word po na Trinity ay hindi po nabanggit sa Scripture. Kasi po, this term is used to attempt to describe the Triune God. Triune, it means po consisting of three in one. So, one God in three persons. According po to Alistair Begg, even though there is no such passage about the Trinity, the entire story of the Bible cannot be understood without the Trinity. And upon listening to a sermon, there is a passage po in the Bible that clearly describes the Trinity at mismong ang Panginoong Hesus po ang nagsabi nito. Makikita po natin ito sa Matthew 28 verse 16 to 20. I will read it po. Then the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came to them and said, All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. Malinaw po dito na sinasabi ni Jesus ang Great Commission. But in verse 19, Jesus said, "Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit." So behind po ng Great Commission is the Trinity. Ano po ulit yung sinabi ng verse 19? Baptize in the name, not names, in the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. And in this verse, though Trinity is very hard to comprehend, but we can see here the truth of the Trinity. Ano-ano po yung mga yon? Number 1, there is only one God. Only one name. One being who is over everything. Sabi po sa Old Testament, "Before me, no God was formed." Then in New Testament po, sabi ni Paul sa 1 Corinthians 8 verse 4, "There is none other God but one." So the Trinity po leads to us to at least 4 affirmations and 4 denials. Yung po mga 4 affirmations. One is, there is one God, the Father is God, the Son is God, the Holy Spirit is God. And 4 denials. The Father is not the Son or the Holy Spirit. The Son is not the Father or the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is not the Father or the Son. And 4th, there are not 3 gods. The truth of the Trinity po, secondly, is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, all equally God. In Genesis 1 verse 1, the Hebrew plural noun Elohim is used sa mga verses po na Genesis 1 verse 26, 3 verse 22, 11 verse 7, and Isaiah 6 verse 8. Yung pong plural pronoun for us is used. Basahin ko po yung Genesis 1 verse 26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish and of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Sinabi po doon na let us make man. Yung word na Elohim and the pronoun us are plural forms, which definitely referring in the Hebrew language to more than 2. And finally, these 3 persons know and love each other. Jesus is always praying to God. Katulad po nung sa Garden of Gethsemane. God from all eternity has been a community of beings loving one another, glorifying one another, communicating to one another. Kaya po may love, may friendship, may family. Sabi nga po ni Tim Keller, God is love even before anything else. Love is the ultimate reality. And tayo po as human beings, why is it that we long for relationship more than anything else? Because we are made in the image of God. We put relationships first, community, family, over everything. Di ba nga po mas matimbang ang love kaysa sa personal success ng career, for example. So, ang Trinitarianism or yung pong belief in the doctrine of the Trinity is Christianity. Pag hindi po natin ito pinaniwalaan, meaning hindi po tayo Christian. Unlike po ng ibang paniniwala, hindi po ito modalism or yung paniniwala po na God is only one person instead of 3 and believe that the Father, Son, and Spirit are different modes or forms of the same divine person. Hindi rin po ito Unitarianism or yung paniniwala na God is simply one and rejects the doctrine of Trinity and the deity of Jesus Christ. Hindi rin po ito polytheism or yung belief that there are many gods and they get along very well. At hindi rin po ito subordinationism or yung within the Trinity, the Son and the Spirit are inferior to the Father. So how do we know po that the Trinity is true? Let's look po at verse 17. In verse 17, when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. So number 1, yung mga Jews po, they only believed in one God, but when they saw the incredible greatness of Jesus, yung pong greatness niya, the wonder, the worshipfulness of Jesus, there is fullness, there is depth. Sa Old Testament, you will not think of the idea of the Trinity. But in the New Testament, yung pong resurrection, Jesus was raised from the dead. It revealed that there is Trinity. The resurrection showed us that there is plurality. And let's connect po the Trinity to the Gospel. The eternal God, who always was Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, made himself known in the central biblical act of the Father, sending the Son, and sending the Holy Spirit. So without the Trinity, hindi po natin maiintindihan kung bakit pinadala ng Ama ang Panginoong Hesus sa krus ng Kalbaryo. Jesus Christ raised from the dead. He brought us to worship and helped us to understand that God is community. God is really love. In conclusion po, we as Christians, we come to the Father through the Son by the help of the Holy Spirit. One God always existed as Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our Triune God, who always existed as love, friendship, community, relationship, 3 persons in a loving relationship. In fact po, if God is not the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, we don't have a gospel. Thank you so much, friends, for listening. I am sure po that this is not enough to further explain the beauty of the Trinity. But I do hope that you are enlightened. Let's continue to read our Bible, to taste and see that He is good, that our Triune God has loved us from the beginning, and He wants us to be with Him forever. Please share this with your friend if you are encouraged. God bless, and to Him be all the glory.